Luke would not go under there. Why would you not go under there, Luke? Maybe
No
because
comment.
you're a millennial. You see, Luke, you just brush it off and you're good. We are here at 9917. And the significance of this address is it used to be the personal home of Chris Sewing from Nature's Recreations. This is actually the house where your aquascape business actually began, right?
This is where we kind of cut our teeth on aquascape and water features in general. We kind of use this as a little bit of R&D. This was one of our larger features that we started. Actually, this is the very first aquascape rainwater harvesting system put in the state of Missouri. So we've got a lot of stuff going on here that we can't wait to show you.
So we're gonna go meet the people that bought Chris's house.
Hey, I'm sorry. Were you out here long? We were in the back.
Nice!
We thought.
Sorry. You want to come in?
Whatever you want to
Okay,
do,
yeah.
Let's take a look at it.
Come on, Violet.
That's Violet.
Yes, this
I'm
is Violet.
Greg.
Joe.
Hi, Greg.
I'm the
Nice
pond
to
guy,
meet you.
Greg. Nice to meet you
Great,
too.
great.
Hi, how
Hi.
are you?
Hey,
Hi,
quiet.
Jackie. I'm the pond guy.
Okay.
Hi there, nice to meet you.
Are you a friend?
All right.
I'm her sister.
Oh. So,
Grissom.
sister, do you like hanging out at your sister's house?
All the time.
So I actually heard that one of the reasons that you bought the house was because of the water feature.
Absolutely. I think I was probably born with a brown thumb. I walked into this knowing that it was going to be a challenge, but it was right after my mom died. You know, we just moved back to Missouri and we looked at, you know, countless other houses. And when we came in here, it was just like, you know, just such peace. And then this tree right here is one that my mom has had at every single one of her houses. And
Really?
So it was
like, it was a
yeah,
sign.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, we just like came here and lingered, and my family is really big into landscaping. My dad has been in the landscaping industry his whole life. My mom always had the most beautiful yards. People came and took their wedding pictures there. And so, like, I am the absolute wrong person to ever put here. But when we came, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that mom brought us here.
Aww.
So, because, you know, we wanted to come back and, you know, really start to have family functions and immerse ourselves in our families more than we had while we were gone, you know? So this just really seemed like the right place for it. And it has been, you know, when we first moved in, it was like every weekend there were people here. It's not a problem to get people here, it's a problem to get people to leave.
I love to hear that. That's awesome.
So this pond was designed to be kind of a showpiece for myself and also for our clients. So we started off with the typical most common selling size 11 by 16 pond here that we revamped from the original. Put some bigger boulders, some real nice character stones here. That spills over into the main large pond here, which is a 25 by 45. This is kind of the precursor to the rec pond that we put in our old place. We did swim in this one when the kids were little, and as they got bigger we outgrew it. But it's a 4 foot deep, you know, nice wading size pond. We've got probably about 130 tons of boulders in the backyard here. So this was a pretty big project when we first did it. Initially, this area here was a nice little beach section because the kids were really little when I built it, and I wanted to have a safe place for them to get in. I knew I couldn't keep them out of there. They used to always waddle over there in their little swim diapers and sit on that log waterfall, which was really cool to get pictures of, and we got some shots of that when they were younger. This big bench stone here where the pot is right in front of the flamingo, I actually got that 2 years before we built this pond. We had it set there in the yard, and everybody kept looking at me like, what the heck is this boulder sitting in the middle of the yard for, where I'm trimming around it and weed eating? And I said, just wait, I've got a plan. And when it all came together, everybody couldn't believe that it was pretty much in the same location that I had envisioned for all those years. We've got 100 feet of stream and waterfalls total coming through this entire landscape. Left side over here has got a little bit bigger pump. We were showcasing what larger, wider streams were with that. And it actually has a nice large constructed wetland that starts that feature. This one on the right here, we started that with a signature 6,000 biofalls. And then we've got a deep stream section there, so we can actually have some fish. We put a land bridge over there. We got the fire pit sitting right in between both of the waterfalls, so at night, that was always my favorite place to hang out, man. Having a fire going and being surrounded by the sound of water, and then looking back and seeing the fish in the pond, it was just the best. When we built this, my kids were really little, and I had this idea to try to utilize this space for the berm and the waterfalls. Let me show you what we did back here. This was really cool, and it was always a big hit with all the neighborhood kids when we'd come around. So we took and buried these big culvert pipes underneath this entire berm work here, and there's actually 80 feet of 36-inch dual wall culvert pipes that we've lit up at night that run all the way underneath the berms and come out on the other side. And then we've also got a T-fitting in there with a little cave in the middle that comes out to this slide. So man, I tell you, when we were entertaining out here when we were younger, when the kids were younger, the adults were on the deck, kids were back here, had their space. Used to be a play set right here, and they would just have a blast running in and out or all around. You know, every once in a while they'd fall in the stream, but that was all part of it. Playing in the woods, in nature, enjoying what we've created for them.
Getting out of here is not something that you typically do when you're my age, but I like to do things that aren't typical.
All right, so we're in the front yard now, and I wanted to show you guys what we did out here when we first built this. This is actually the first Aquascape Rainwater Harvesting pondless waterfall in the state of Missouri that we installed. So what we've got is basically an old standard biofalls up at the top starting this. If you can barely see under these oak leaf hydrangeas, we've got a downspout pre-filter that captures all the water off this downspout, and then it pipes it directly down to our basin. So what we're doing is basically recycling water, reharvesting it, and utilizing it throughout the landscape. And this one here is a 50-foot pondless stream and falls with a about 200-gallon rain exchange basin down at the bottom there. And we've got a booster pump over here down by the mailbox that we'll go show you right now. And what that does is allows us easy access to this water so that we can reuse it in the landscape for a functional purpose. So this goes to a drip irrigation system running throughout the landscape. We've got 500 feet of drip line that's all pressurized that irrigates all of our landscape and keeps this water feature being a sustainable feature that is actually depleting the amount of runoff that runs off this rooftop.
So has this been more maintenance or less maintenance than you thought it would be?
I think it's as much maintenance as I expected. The hardest part is in the fall.
With the leaves, with a giant oak tree above it.
Yeah, it's insane. And we tried netting it ourselves because Chris's schedule is busy. Our other guy who was consulting, he was busy. So that was probably not the most glamorous netting setup ever, not the most sophisticated system. And so we got a ton of leaves in there, and I think that was our demise.
Chris will net it up for you. He netted it up a few times before, I'm sure.
I'm sure you have a.
And that's why I do a once a year clean out, you know, to get it good.
Right.
What do people that come here for the first time say when they see this? Because they're not expecting to see this in someone's backyard.
And I think that's usually what they say is they walk in and they're like, "Whoa, I wasn't expecting this to be out there," you know, because they usually come in and they're like, "Oh, you know, I love your stream up front." I'm like, "Really? Well, come on back." And then, you know, it usually turns into them sitting down, having a drink, you know, before you know it, like you're old friends. I had somebody who came by one time to pick up our moving boxes, actually, and he came in and, you know, complimented the stream in the front and said that he had a small pond in his yard. And I said, well, you know, come on back and see. And so he and his kids ended up playing here for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Total stranger, but you know, it does, it's an inviting environment, and people come, and like I said, they want to stay. The hardest part is getting them to leave, not getting them to come.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the Living the Aquascape Lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it's fun, I know, for Chris to come back and see people enjoying. You know, how long ago did you put this water feature in?
13 years ago, maybe 14.
Yeah.
Wow. So this was, you know, and you gotta get over and see his new place, because it's
definitely.
it's just incredible. Well, Jill, thank you.
Thank you.
I really
Thank
have
you.
enjoyed my visit here.
Well,
and
I enjoyed it too. I appreciate you guys coming.
What's awesome is to see a new consumer living the aquascape lifestyles. She walked into that backyard and it was divine. She literally bought the house because of the landscaping in the pond. She said she's got a brown thumb, yet when you ask her about the pond maintenance in here, she's like, I just do it with my kids and it's therapy. And that's what it's all about. That's living the aquascape lifestyles. These things should be low maintenance. They should be ecosystem friendly. They should work with Mother Nature and not against her. And that's how people live the aquascape lifestyles. I don't even want to leave. I want to hang out here all day, but it's off to the next stop. All right, we're with Chris Sewing, Nature's Recreations,
How you doing today?
touring his beautiful water features out here in St. Louis. And what are we looking at now?
18 by 14 koi pond.
No.
It was a old swimming pool that had leaks. Client loved having the water, but hated having the leaks. Kids had moved on. They never used the pool anymore, but they still wanted to see some water in the yard. So we ripped out the pool, put in this awesome koi pond and waterfall, and they just absolutely love it.
All right, let's see the future of swimming pools, recreation ponds.
Dennis, what's going on? Dennis and Kathy, this is Greg Wittstock, the pond guy.
Good to see
Hi,
you,
Dennis,
Greg.
the pond guy, Greg.
Hi,
Kathy,
Greg. Nice to meet
and
you.
who's this guy?
This is Sugar.
Aw, look at Sugar. Give me a little Sugar. Cute. What kind of puppy?
She's a Westie.
Beautiful. So this was a converted swimming pool, huh?
Yes, you can see the kidney shape here on the deck,
Yeah.
and it was leaking and we needed to do something, so we called Chris.
Yeah, well, that was a smart move. How long ago was that?
7 or 8 years ago.
Uh-huh. And better as a pond than a pool?
Absolutely,
Much better.
absolutely.
Which is lower maintenance, the pond or the pool?
The pond.
Always. Always work with Mother Nature, not against her. Don't
Yep.
try to beat it with chemicals. So you raised a family here?
Part of a family. We did raise here, yes. They
pond was-
moved on, and the dog, our Labrador Retriever that was in the pool all the time, passed on.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the two of us, and we decided that we didn't want to spend the money to fix the leak in the pool. So Chris put in the most beautiful pond for us. And I love to garden, as you can tell. So
Wow.
now we have a water garden.
Yes, this is absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
I guess I could tell by the shape, but that's about the only thing that I would be able to tell. You know, there was
Yeah.
a swimming pool there.
We've had a number of people on when we've been on pond tour that wanted to come to see the backyard because they had a pool that they were going to convert, or they wanted to see what could be done. In fact, we had one guy Chris brought by. He told Chris, I want one just like this. Build me one exactly the same.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for letting us check it
Our
out.
pleasure.
Look at this. From swimming pool to recreation pond. Pretty nice. Look at that. So 2010, so it's 8 years old. Kathy, you're saying that the pool was enjoyable, but what's the difference with the pond?
Pond is just so much more beautiful and fun to watch because we get the toads that come
In the
and the
spring.
dragonflies.
Nature.
And nature, yeah. And then watching the fish, of course, all the time. That's fun, yeah. Feeding the fish,
Yep. I know. I'm the pond guy.
yeah.
here's how you know that you got storms. When the lights come on, so it's getting a little bit dark, but Chris, why don't you tell us about this pool to pond conversion here?
This started off as a vinyl insert leaky swimming pool that the client wanted to convert to this koi pond here. So what we did was we came in, we tore out the old mechanism, we packed soil back into place, excavated the pond, built up a nice little berm, and tore out half of the pool deck and used the other half for an actual patio. And here's what we have, this awesome koi pond water garden.
Lower maintenance, work with Mother Nature, not against her, and get to enjoy 365 in St. Louis climate versus 4 months out of the year.
If you're lucky, yeah.
Yep. So they had some predation here, and so they put up these strings, and that eliminated it. So just some little monofilament fishing string line going across there, and they protect all their fish. Well, Kathy,
Thank you so much
Dennis,
for coming.
Thank you.
thanks for being an
Yeah.
Aquascape customer. Thanks for supporting this guy. Would you recommend him to other people?
We do.
110%.
Everybody asks who does
Absolutely.
it. We always tell them.
Yeah.
I didn't pay
As
him
for
to say
Chris.
that.
That's right. That's right. Well, you gave him a beautiful water feature. Congratulations,
Thank
and
you.
enjoy the hobby.
Chris
do.
is like family to us, so.
We like to hear that. Pond customers, we always just say, are just cooler than just landscape customers because it creates a lifestyle
It does. Everybody loves a pond. There's always something going on in there.
with the fish. You got tadpoles in there right now.
Yep.
We had a squirrel in there today above the rapids. He was actually standing in the water. I don't know what he was doing.
Like bathing.
Yeah, like bathing.
First, I've never had that.
Every day is different. How many swimming pools exist out there? Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
How many swimming pools exist, do you think, that people don't use for swimming?
A whole lot.
A whole lot. They could convert it into this, and the investments that they made, it literally changed their entire backyard and their entire space, and they enjoy it.
Well, it reclaimed a space that they were totally disgusted with, and now they have a sanctuary back there that they're enjoying every single day.
Amen. Hey, if you like what you see and get inspired by this stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and follow along as we see cool people and awesome yards.